nowhere to put my arms.
Welcome, everybody. We are back again. In case you notice, I'm wearing the same shirt as the last episode. It's because I'm doing it on the same day, like 20 minutes later. Okay, so remember, I am not your host on this. I'm not a host at all on this. I'm a guide. I'm a guide to the crap. And this show, the Professional Drivers Darwin Awards, is all going to be about the dumb stuff that people have done. The terrible ideas. What?
You said this was about power couples, and we were going to come on here and just talk
I like it. No, it was total. This show is all about the dumb things that we have done, the terrible ideas that we had that we thought were good, and it turned out to be terrible. And what better way to talk about the dumb stuff, failures that I or David Peace has had, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, David Peace, than to talk to his wife about the dumb shit he's done. And just to be fair, we can't only tease him, so I brought my wife along as well, and she can poke fun at me. So how much time
do we have?
We're gonna go as long as we want. Normally these episodes are gonna be short and sweet, but if this is fun, we'll go longer. Here's gonna be the rules. There are rules to this. Now, Tikva and Maggie are gonna have the opportunity to tease us all they want. But in return, and we won't interrupt you, but in return, you have to give us, David and Vinny.
For once in your life, you're not going to interrupt me?
I won't interrupt you for once. Don't, after this episode, though, don't get used to that. That's not what I'm saying. You ladies have to give us the opportunity to defend ourselves when we're done. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So Maggie has a prepared story first.
It's great.
And it's going to be even funnier because she doesn't know what most of these tools are called.
Yeah.
So, all right, Maggie, go on. Tell your story.
So, one of the mornings, Vinny decided he was going to get up early and work before we got anything done that day because we had like wrestling or something going on. So, tournament for the boys. Wrestling tournament for the boys. Something. Well, so Vinny gets up and decides he's going to put T-post in the ground with a posthole digger? No, driver. Posthole driver. And if you don't know, you go like this driver. And you hit a post in the ground. Yes. He never listens. Okay. So
wait for the boys.
Yes. So he does this and goes up and knocks himself on the top of the head. Like knocks himself out. Comes in the house. And I go, what happened? He has a knot on the side, on top of his head, like this big, sticking up about this big. I'm debating on if he like fractured his skull or something. We need to go to the emergency room. Refused to do anything. Had a major headache, a stomach ache. Definitely had a concussion for like 3 days. He had to wear a beanie on his head just to cover this knot because it stood out and it was hilarious. Okay.
So I was gonna look here to see if I have pictures because I'm sure I do, but I just got a new phone for Christmas and I don't know if I can find them. Okay, so to explain that story, it was a T-post driver. So as you know, it's a large sleeve cylinder with a very strong weight on the top, and you drive it in the ground, drive your T-post in.
This must be a Nebraskan thing. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Our listeners will.
Manual work.
Don't worry. So, and you drive, well, what happened is I went too high, and the front of the sleeve caught the top edge of the T-post. So I went and I pulled it down. And so not only is this thing like, 30 to 40 pounds, but I'm putting all the force into it that I have, and it's metal. And it hits the top, so the whole weight comes down, just boom, right on top of my head. The welt on my head, I mean, it was sticking. I've never seen a bump that strong. And I was.
Did I just walk out and just see you just passed out on the ground?
I mean, I didn't lose consciousness or anything. I went in the house.
I was in bed still.
And I went in, and I was so loopy and whatever. I took the next day off because I was clearly very, very concussed. And then the following day I went to work, and I still was at a point, I was significantly like drunk symptoms.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been driving.
I shouldn't have been driving. It was bad shit. And I took it pretty easy. And the third day, I was still having terrible concussion symptoms. I ended up having to go to the doctor. And the doctor was pissed. So pissed. He was like, you should have come and seen me immediately. He was pissed that I had gone 3 days with a concussion and not seen him.
He probably had a brain bruise. That might explain some of his issues. But
anyway.
I was going to say that does explain a lot, Vinny. You know, I also have a story about David and him hitting his head. So, you know, you guys definitely have something in common there. But yeah, so I agreed to let him cut an access to our attic from our small garage. Okay.
For a losing pirate ship?
Anyways.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's for a whole next thing, but
sorry,
that's the story. So I agreed to that, but what I didn't know I was going to walk into was him with a saw drill thing, whatever, saw drill thing, cutting it, an electric saw. Okay, sorry, I don't know tools either, Maggie.
That's all right.
Like cutting off the drywall. No safety goggles, nothing, just like looking up at it. All of the drywall is like coming down on his face. He's like, I can't see. I'm like, you need safety goggles. So then he puts on safety goggles, but safety goggles can't protect your head from the drywall square falling down on your head and hitting yourself in the head. It was fun.
So I will say, now that story is done, we were recording clips. You have to record like B-roll for a Great Christmas Light Fight. And so I was just thinking like, I'm going to cut a hole in the ceiling to get this attic hatch done. Hey, Tikva, film me real quick. So I wasn't thinking through the whole safety process, but yeah, it just fell straight down on me because I actually hadn't prepared how this was going to actually come down. So it just came down on me.
So we're blaming the TV program.
Yeah, no, it was all because we were filming B-roll.
The one that you didn't win.
The one.
Listen.
So you were cutting a hole in something above you.
Yeah.
And didn't think about the fact that when the hole is done, the object you've cut out is now going to fall down.
Right. Yes.
Gravity, you know.
Yeah. I did not consider that as I was cutting. And actually it was like, as I was at the last 2 inches, I'm like, this is going to, you know, then it started to click, but it was too late at that point. So I'm just finishing.
See, this is so good. This is the whole concept of this show. People that think, oh my God, David built a freaking pirate ship on his house. Clearly he's really good at this stuff. He knows what he's doing. No, he doesn't.
Well,
okay.
Hold on.
I mean, at the end of the day, he built something really badass.
No. This isn't about compliments. You don't need. This is about things we screwed up on. So don't worry.
Do you remember the flagpole at the old house? And the I'm gonna take the guide wires off and take it down later, and it almost went through the kids' window. Because that was before we learned our lesson on what kind of poles to use for that. And we used a flagpole. And he decided to cut the guide wires off and then go to work. And take care of it afterwards.
Hold on. First off, we didn't use a flagpole.
You're interrupting.
No, she was done, right?
I'm good, yeah.
Now I get to defend myself. I used the wrong type of steel. I went cheap because it was a fairly small.
Was the steel called aluminum?
No. It was pipe steel, the stuff you still shouldn't ever use. But it was small enough, and I thought, I could probably get away with it. Because I was putting guy wires on it, and everything was fine. It actually made it through the whole season.
You did.
It was when we were tearing down, I'm pretty sure that something, like I was doing tear down, I took the guy wires off, and I think I got like called away like on a fire call or something like that.
It was,
and I had to drop everything, and I left. And then I got home, and I think I was just tired. Like I wasn't in the mood. And I was like, I'll finish tomorrow. And I left it with no guy wires up. That night, pole came crashing down.
Almost through the kid's bedroom window.
History doesn't care about the reasons, Vinny.
Just cares that I did do it.
You did save a life in the process.
I totally forgot that I've had a mega tree come down. I forgot that. I thought I was better than this. I was better than this.
That was 5 years ago. So
Damn it.
I'll give you that. It was 5 years ago.
Oh, what an epic failure.
And it was no pixels. That was before pixel time.
It was all AC stuff.
It was just a projectile going through your children's window.
Well, you had a mega tree that came down, and we had one that almost went up and pulled out our whole lawn because our collapsing tree had so much strength in it that David had to literally babysit it every time it was used. And if it went up too far, it would just keep going. And he almost started just pulling stuff up, and he like ran and was like, oh my gosh. So yes, every single show with the collapsing tree had to be babysat by David.
So use limit switches. So yeah, the first year that we had the collapsing mega tree, there basically it's on a timer rather than limit switches, meaning it just said I'm going to go up a certain amount of milliseconds and I'm going to go down a certain number of milliseconds. But what happened when it got out of sync, which it happened quite frequently, it would overpull, and quite a lot. And this is a winch. This is an ATV winch. It can do like 1,200 pounds. It doesn't stop. It just keeps pulling. And so you imagine the tree, the mega trees just keep stretching, and it's on the elastic band stretching, and the base is like pulling up out of the ground. And I was out, I remember the night that you're talking about, because I'm out in the audience watching the show, and I just see it. I'm like, oh crap. I just start running over there. I got to reverse the winch myself. Yeah, that was a dangerous situation, actually.
That is good. I remember that mega tree too. David, what was the story? We were at your house. This was before we left, and we were looking at some.
I remember.
This was well after I had peed in your pool. You know, the thing that never actually happened.
I can't take him anywhere.
And JR and I were making fun of you for your sleeve that was in the ground for your collapsing pole. What was your sleeve built out of?
Well, was it a sleeve, or was it a couple pieces of angle iron that you guys were making fun of?
That's what I was like, I couldn't remember. It was angle iron, like some or something that you just drove into the ground, and we were like, oh my God, we are friends with you? Oh.
So I created the cement in the ground, and I had 2 pieces of angle iron, but really that was just supposed to be a template for the square tube. I was going to remove the angle iron, but then it got stuck to the cement, so I just left it. And so there's these 2 like wobbly, very insecure pieces of angle iron that support the whole thing. That's what you guys were making fun of.
Really? So concrete grabbed the angle iron and didn't
let go? Weird.
Go figure.
Yeah, I didn't think that it would, but it did.
How many random times have you forgot to unplug the audio from your computer?
Oh God! Oh, that's like.
And everything you do on your computer gets played across the show.
Okay, 4 nights a week.
Okay.
4 nights a week.
But remember that one night that we were watching, it was a YouTube video. It was an inappropriate YouTube video, a lot of cussing. And you forgot to do it. And I'm listening to the radio in here, checking to make sure the show's running right. And all I heard is F this, F that, and all this cuss words that's being broadcast to everyone in the yard listening to the show.
I don't think
this is why you don't use your computer as your show player.
I know. There are perks and drawbacks to using your computer. What I should do is go buy a cheap computer that is just, that's my show computer.
I thought you bought 3 of those already.
What?
The cheap.
So that's what I need to do. And then my main computer, which is the one I should be out in the office recording this on, but that's running the show right now. So
this is like the same story of, honey, we need a bigger tractor to get our mega poles in the ground. Oh yeah, I bought a bigger tractor. Now I need a bigger trailer to carry the tractor back to get an oil change or do stuff like that to maintain it. Oh, my truck isn't big enough to take the trailer or the tractor, so now I need a bigger truck. It's like one of those endless cycles of purchases.
You see the loop here?
There's always a loop.
I was just saying that we have the loop with storage, because it's like, hey, I need to build more storage. You need to move stuff somewhere else. And then that gets full. And then I'm like, hey, I need more storage. And there's never enough.
Well, we pretty much have just storage in the whole house and the garage and the other garage
and our room and the office
and the yard and everywhere.
Start storing Cloro under the kids' beds.
No, I started buying semi-trailers.
No, they can have a light show on their ceiling, so they have it all year long. There we go.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, if you caught the last episode, A-frames are a great way to store your pixel strips. Super efficient.
Just build them smaller than the door that you're trying to get it out of.
I know.
That was a really good idea that your dad had. Your dad.
Oh, dude, just wait.
I will not forget that was your dad that had the idea.
His dad is amazing at
my dad
these ideas.
Speaking of ideas, how
I
are
like
the
to believe
pixel stakes doing?
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
The peace steaks.
Yeah.
They were actually the Tikva steaks.
Isn't her last name Peace though?
Yeah, but that kind of means that both of them thought of it. And in reality, only one of them thought of it.
So it was just really funny because they were named the piece. Like, this is not David's fault at all because he always gives credit. But online, like, it's just so funny how many people he'd show me, like, every day somebody would be like, so I got the David Peace pixel steaks, not just the Peace pixel steaks. It would be like, the David Peace pixel steaks. And it was pretty funny.
How many times have you in some way punished him for the fact that you didn't get credit for those?
Well, she gets credit now because now even out on the websites that you can buy them, like on Boscoyo and Gilbert and all these guys, it says buy David Peace's wife Tikva or something like that.
They are all really amazing. So
there was a PR campaign on your behalf there, Tikva.
Well, yeah, I have the shirt that says I'm just here to see David Peace's wife.
I so wish David would have got my shirt. He could be wearing it right now.
Can I make fun of Maggie?
No? I can't ship things correctly, apparently.
Maggie had two people from California for her Secret Santa.
They're both named and started with D.
Two people in California. Well, we get a picture. They happen to be Daniel Griffith and David Peace are two people that we needed to send two Secret Santa gifts to. And David sends a photo. I love my new shirt. And I look at it, I'm like, that was for Daniel. Wait a minute. So then where's David's t-shirt? And normally this wouldn't be too big a deal because you're just like, it's just a t-shirt, whatever. Except David's shirt was very custom, very special to him. It was a nice shirt talking about how much David loves Runza.
I think I'll like the shirt that I have now more than that one.
No, because you love Runza. We all know it.
So Maggie goes and she sends the wrong gifts to the wrong people.
Wait, is this burning the wives now?
I felt like I wanted revenge.
All right. Let me tell you a little secret, but you can't share with anybody. We're not on like Facebook Live or anything, right?
No,
okay.
No,
anyway,
well, we are recording this.
This year, anyways, we do not have a working show. And there's a little elf named David Peace who has to run behind the storybook every single show very discreetly and make the cannon go up and down because he never got it working. And so he runs behind right in time, sometimes a little late, sometimes a little early, pulls it up, has to manually shoot the CO2, and that's for every show. Then he like discreetly runs out and is like, hey, thanks for coming to the Peace Family Light Show, guys.
And I like try to take off my Santa hat too so they don't see the little red Santa hat going through the yard.
There's all black
and yard and is like walking through their grass, like trying to discreetly come back for the end of the show.
So this actually is exactly the same reason for the tree going up and down. it was a fair bit of laziness on my part because I never installed the limit switches. So I'm too nervous to actually let it run by itself. So I just go back there and I press it manually. So yeah, I go back there and I listen for the right timing and I press the up button on the winch and then I shoot the cannon.
So we've learned from this. David's not good at building things.
No, here's what you learn is that the show must go on.
Okay.
Even
And
if it's not done.
there are so many secrets. I mean, think of all the movie magic, right? He's gonna post our show, and it's gonna look amazing. And he won't go during it while he's filming, of course.
And Tikva's gonna be pulling a wire, and I'll edit it together. We'll fix it in post.
It's not sequenced the lights are just on all the time, and you're just standing out there like just waving in front of them just to make them blink.
That's why he had Jordan come visit him. He needed an extra person.
We do.
So did Jordan figure out that you were cheating your show during
he totally knows. Yeah, he totally knows that I'm a cheater. Actually, the video that I posted where the Union Tribune came out and did a little piece on us, and he's like, hey, can you make the cannon go out? And I didn't realize he was going to be behind, and you see me pressing the button as it goes up. That was totally unintentional. He wasn't supposed to be filming me pressing the button as the cannon raised up.
Goddamn news people. Can't trust them. Can't trust them. You give away all the secrets.
Oh,
Doing journalism, so.
Oh, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, so we want to keep these episodes short, so you have one more opportunity. You can do one more story.
I'm trying to think of anything else you've done. I mean, I've done quite a few stupid things. Well, he doesn't like to put any markers on any of his cross the yard guy wires or cross things. So okay. Our
guy wire is supposed to be hidden. Sorry.
Our sleigh. It's set up. Well, we've had it for 2 years, and the person who we bought it from did not know how to weld at all. So most of the welds are broken, right? Okay. So my husband, being the welder and builder he is, I'll fix that, no problem. We're year 2, we still have not fixed it.
All the horses got it.
Kind of. So to hold these 2 pieces of metal up on each side, he has to put guy wires across like this, across the middle. Well, for guy wires, he uses baling wire. There's thin little pieces of wire that come across. Then he goes, hey, honey, would you go do this? As I'm standing on one side. I forget that he did this, run right into it, right across the face, and cut my nose across here, cut here. And he goes,
sounds like Final Destination.
He goes, did you not see the wires? Oh, honey, are you okay? Like, maybe next time I should mark those so you don't do that or not send you through the middle. No, honey, are you okay?
Okay. So here's my defense. All right. First off, welding on this particular issue has nothing to do with it because that sleigh is just fine. The issue is that it's 2 completely independent, like the side, it's wireframes, and it's the 2-dimensional sides of the sleigh, the left and right sides, and they're independent. So in order to get them to stand up next to each other, perfectly in line, one of the things I do is I put guy wires coming from the 4 corners, and then I put a guy wire between them, and it holds them really snug, holds them in place. It's a fantastic system.
Like this.
No, it's great. So the baling wire is fantastic for guy wires. It's a really great wire for that. It's awesome. Also, she didn't necessarily cut herself. She more hit herself where she was like bruised, maybe a little bit like a line of bruise across her face. So it was more funny. It was more funny than...
Paint a picture for me of baling wire because I'm picturing a single strand of wire.
No.
And I feel like a guy wire can only be effective if it's stranded.
No. So a baling wire it is a single solid wire, but it's not thin like think like data cord or something. Like yeah, it's about as thick as the stem of a sucker. Right? So it's strong. It's very strong, but it's semi-rigid and stiff. So you can wrap it around, twist it, and it will hold, and then you can yank it tight and wrap it around a post or a stake in the ground or something.
It's what we used to keep the goats in. When the goats break through the fence, we tie it back together with the baling wire.
Baling wire is a fantastic system for guy wires. It is fantastic. I wish I had thought of it years ago.
It's cheap and it's nice, and
it's super cheap, and that's the great. It's so cheap that I don't actually save my guy wires or keep them. When I take my props down, I just snip the baling wire at the prop and just throw the baling wire away. And next year when I put the prop up, I put in a fresh new piece of baling wire.
Yeah, there's nowhere where we could buy baling wire in California.
You don't have an Orscheln's or
Tractor
Supply or...
I have no idea the words you're saying right now.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
I won't even yell for Maggie. JR!
That's NorCal. That's different.
Call him. He'll hook you up.
Yeah.
He knows where to find that stuff.
They have it at Home Depot.
No.
Probably.
In the farming section.
Okay, Tikva, you got one more.
All right.
You got it.
I have to end with this. David has impeccable timing for testing his things. Well, there's a lot of these, so I'll just say a couple really short ones. But just like 2 weeks ago, he has all week long between shows, and he decides to test the hose for the Cannon right before the show, and it busts, and he has no other hoses. He's like calling JR, like, please ship me my hose. And like just trying to find anybody who could possibly have this really unique thing that you can't buy at Home Depot or anywhere else, of course, right before the show. So it's down for the whole weekend. And of course, that's the weekend that important people come out. Hold on. There's one more, and it's about another Cannon, but you can respond to that after. On our grand opening night, we like to have like friends and family come over, and he likes to do special effects for just that night. So he was so excited. This was a couple years ago, and he just set up a confetti cannon, and it took forever to shove all this confetti in the confetti cannon. And he tested it, and he tested it. So much so that the battery was dead on the actual show. So he goes to shoot it, this big grand moment, and nothing. So yes, wonderful timing for testing all your things.
So first of all, what makes the CO2 story even funnier, which I forgot to mention. So we had no CO2 hose for a weekend, but these people are coming to our house. And that's like they expect the cannon. They expect the pirate ship, right? So when the cannon raises up, I want you guys to picture this. I'm behind the storybook.
Because remember, he ran back there.
Because I'm back there. I raised the storybook, and I have no hose, so I can't shoot the cannon. So what I do instead is I pick up a 40-pound tank of CO2, I lift it up over the storybook, and I just open the nozzle just so that they can get a spray of something. Because there's nothing else that's gonna happen.
And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
And it's actually at an angle too. So this is the cannon, right? And I'm down here, so the CO2 goes like that, up at an angle. The show must go on.
Always. Always. All right. Well, guys, this has been an absolute blast. So much fun. But I do want to cut us off because I want these episodes to be short.
You're cutting us off because we're going to be on the news here in any minute.
I do have the TV paused because we're supposed to be on the news.
Congrats! Record it.
Yeah.
It is being recorded. She just came out tonight, and then it's already on tonight's news. I don't know.
We'll see how good it is.
I tried to focus them on the kids, even though the kids really don't do anything. It just maybe make it special for them. Anyway, so I'm going to cut us off. Guys, this has been so much fun. It has been a blast. I cannot wait. We will have you on again. So Tikva, when you think of really great stories like, I want to tell this story, write it down, remember it in some way, and we will have you on again to tell more David P. stories.
Can't wait.
You probably won't be on again because I have a soft, fragile ego.
You get to see them at Transworld though this year, right? Are you both coming?
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Already booked.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, everybody.
Oh.
Good night. Goodbye.
Night.
Goodbye.